Welcome to Direction Northeast. Hello, I'm Lila Archer. This program is a presentation of the Communications Department of Northeast State Community College. This episode of Direction Northeast is about hypnosis. We'll explore what it is and how it works. We'll start our discussion after these following messages.
Northeast State's a wonderful place to start your career in college, and the campus is beautiful, the teachers are one-on-one.
It was an excellent decision to come to Northeast State. I've learned so much coming here.
I love the school, and everyone is friendly here. This has been the best time of my life. I have really enjoyed being here.
I think if it hadn't have been for Northeast, then I wouldn't feel as happy and as driven if I chose another school.
Step by step, Northeast State is here to get you there. Enroll now at northeaststate.edu.
Hypnosis has long been viewed with a skeptic eye, part entertainment and part science. People have wondered how the power of suggestion really is that strong. Rich Ames is the power behind Hypno-palooza. He is a board-certified hypnotist with the National Board of Hypnosis Education and Certification and studied psychology and theater as an undergraduate. As a student of hypnosis, Rich trained in Los Angeles and Florida with some of the top hypnotists in the country. His wife and stage partner, Morel, is also a board-certified hypnotist with MBHEC. She holds a master's degree in counseling from Arizona State University. Mr. Ames, welcome to Directions Northeast.
Thank you, Lila. Appreciate being here.
First of all, what is hypnosis and how does it work?
Well, it's a little difficult to describe hypnosis in one short sentence, but all it really is simply the relaxation of the conscious part of your mind and the opening up of your subconscious. Your subconscious is very open to suggestion, and under that subconscious state, which we call hypnosis, the subconscious mind just accepts whatever is told it.
Is hypnosis dangerous in any way?
No, that's only in the movies.
Hypnosis has basically been an entertainment venue. Can it have practical applications?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the practical applications of hypnosis are far more important than the entertainment value. I enjoy doing the entertainment. We do it, but we are also both board-certified hypnotists, as you mentioned, and my partner has a master's degree in counseling from Arizona State University. We're both members of the American Counseling Association. We work all the time to help people to improve their lives using hypnosis.
And what would the practical applications of hypnosis be?
Oh, they're varied. They're so almost unlimited. You can do so many things with hypnosis because all hypnosis is your subconscious mind believing in whatever it is that you want to accomplish. We help people to lose weight. We help people to quit smoking. We help people to be better students. We help people get rid of phobias. It's very, very unlimited.
How can hypnosis itself help someone quit smoking?
Well, basically, you can quit smoking. You can't, using hypnosis, you can't get rid of the physical desires. They're basically, smoking is a two-pronged addiction. It's a physical addiction and a psychological addiction. With hypnosis, we can help you get rid of the psychological addiction, but the physical addiction is something entirely different. So we ask people when they want to quit smoking to use any of the nicotine patch or gum or whatever their pharmacist recommends, and then we also get rid of that psychological addiction to cigarettes. And with hypnosis, we do that because we help you convince yourself from the inside out, from the subconscious, that you are a non-smoker. When you believe that, and when you're able to get rid of the physical part of it too, with the other things, you can be a non-smoker very quickly.
How would it help a student or help reduce stress?
Well, stress has been with us since the dawn of time. Stress is simply one of the things that we've learned to adapt to, and we've learned as we've gone through time to adapt to stress in different ways. When we first started, it was all about fight or flight. And back when the saber-toothed tigers and stuff were chasing us through the jungles and everything, we had to either fight it, and saber-toothed tigers were really large, so it was very hard to fight, or we had to learn to run, and we had to instantly decide which it was that we wanted to do. Well, today, when a student goes into class and he's ready to take a test, he's studied for the test, he gets in there, and suddenly those old fight or flight things come up because he's nervous, he's scared, he wants to do well, he or she. And so what we do is we teach them that A, you can't fight in a class. You can't fight the teacher. You have to do what is necessary. You can't run away from class. You can't run away from that test you have to take. But the problem is your mind starts running away anyway. It starts pulling back. So we teach you how to not allow your mind to run away, to actually deal with those stresses and get rid of that test anxiety.
Does stage hypnosis actually engage someone's subconscious mind, or is it more power of suggestion?
It's a little of both, a little of both. Basically, when people come up on stage, there's basically an unwritten contract between the hypnotist and the subjects that we have on stage. They know that it's a show, that it needs to go on a certain length of time, and they have to be doing certain things. But at the same time, there's definitely engaging the subconscious mind when they're up there.
Can anyone be hypnotized?
Yeah, I'm asked that all the time. I believe that anyone of average intelligence or better can be hypnotized. People always ask me, is it people that are lower intelligence that can be more hypnotized? And that's really just the opposite. The more intelligent a person is, the better imagination a person has, the more likely they are to be able to be easily hypnotized.
How does a person tell when they're hypnotized?
Generally, they can't really tell. We do a few tests. We sometimes do a test. In a hypnotherapy situation, we do, for instance, a catalepsy test where we have them raise their arms and then it's stiff and they can't lower it, or we have them close their eyes and they're unable to open their eyes. When I have somebody under and they just literally, no matter how hard they try, they can't open their eyes, that's a convincer. That convinces them that they really are hypnotized. But when we're on stage, we don't have time to do that because we're working with a large number of people. People know that they're hypnotized. I start off with a quick test, a thing where I have them feel a cold wind blowing across them, and pretty much everybody that is hypnotized to any level will actually feel that cold. And so when they feel that cold, they say, wow, I must really be hypnotized.
Does being hypnotized have a specific feeling?
Not really, not really. It's just a very relaxing place. It's just getting your conscious mind quiet and your subconscious open, and you're just relaxed.
Do you tend to pre-screen the subjects that you're putting under?
Some do, some hypnotists do. They do a couple of tests ahead of time and they only pick those that they think are best. But I've been doing this so long that I can pretty much tell that anybody that's going to come up on stage is going to do well. Very rarely do we have anybody on stage that doesn't do well.
Now, hypnosis has been going around on the college circuit a lot lately. Why do you think that's such a big draw?
Well, there's a natural interest in it. I mean, it's the mind, it's how the mind works, and people just have a natural interest. And it's obviously funny to watch people do things that they think. There's one misconception. They think that the hypnotist has control or some power over the subject that's up there, and I try to dispel that notion when I'm on stage. One of the first things I do is a very short talk about how I really have no power over the people on stage. It's important for them to understand that I don't have a power over them, but they give me basically I give them suggestions and they say, okay, that sounds like fun, and they just do it.
What is the difference between regular hypnosis and hypnotherapy?
And hypnotherapy? Yeah, regular hypnosis, it depends on whether you're talking about regular stage hypnosis, obviously quite a bit different than hypnotherapy. Stage hypnosis, you have people doing funny, unusual, strange things, but there's no real purpose to it other than to make people laugh. Hypnotherapy is where you actually develop a therapeutic technique with someone for whatever it is that they want to take care of in their lives. If they have a phobia, we develop an actual treatment modality that we actually use with them. We develop a treatment that we use to treat whatever their problems might be, and that's hypnotherapy.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of hypnosis?
Sure. Hypnosis has been around for an extremely long time. As a matter of fact, there are hieroglyphics in Egyptian time, from Egyptian times, of people doing things with an eye, a strange eye, and people behaving strangely. And so we have a feeling. Now, we don't know for sure. No one knows for sure. But we think that there was some definite hypnosis type things going on clear back then. Throughout the ages, there have been a lot of hypnotists. Hypnosis was used in wartime. In the Civil War it was used. It was used in World War I to help people because they didn't have anesthesia back then. They weren't able to put people under. They had to do immediate battlefield amputations and things like that. And so people learned that through hypnosis, not only could they help to remove some of the fear and anxiety and pain that people were experiencing on the battlefield when they were doing these practices, but they also were able to do things like control the amount of bleeding that was going on through hypnosis.
Now, is there a difference between hypnosis and mesmerization?
Not much. Mesmerization was named after a gentleman named Mesmer, and he developed a whole science of mesmerization, which was all based on magnetic attractions and all kinds of things like that, which are not at all accepted today. but still people think mesmerization is the same thing as hypnosis, and they're completely different.
Is there a difference between the self-guided hypnosis, like guided imagery, and creative visualization?
Guided imagery and creative visualization, these are all techniques that can be taught to someone to help improve whatever their goal is that they want in life. We work, for instance, with sports teams and individual sports performers, and we teach them to go through their routine in their mind before they actually perform the routine. We actually have them totally visualize from beginning to end their entire routine. Sometimes we'll have them just before they go on. We work with a number of different types of athletes, and visualizing, picturing it in your mind is a very quick way for them to be ready to perform as soon as they go out.
Okay, now you're also involved in counseling. How does hypnosis work with the counseling?
Well, counseling, my partner and I are both members of the American Counseling Association. There's so much stress going on, and so many difficulties in life are caused by stress. And we have this program of hypnosis that can really help people deal with stress. When you're able to deal with stress more effectively, you're able to be so much more effective in all of your life's activities. And so some people who have been very ineffective have not been able to be successful in their lives. Once we teach them how to deal with stress, they're able to be much more successful.
And your wife is also your stage partner. What's it like working with your wife?
Well, you know, people always ask that, and she's terrific to work with. I can't imagine ever. I had a period of time last November that I had to go out on the road for 3 weeks without her, and it's the first time in many, many years that I've had to do these shows and things without her, and I realized that it's almost impossible. She's just fantastic to have with me, both on stage and all the rest of the time, too. We're together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. People say, how can the marriage last? And I say, how could any other marriage not last?
Did you hypnotize her and make her go with you?
Don't tell her.
And what can someone who comes to one of your shows expect to see?
First thing they should expect is the unexpected. That nothing is ever exactly the same. Even if you've seen my show, people that came to a show we did today at 1:30 will see a very, very dissimilar, a totally different show this evening when they come at 7 o'clock. They should expect to have a whole lot of laughs. There's going to be a lot of things. They're also going to feel like they're at a rock concert. They're going to be cheering for their favorite rock stars, because I tell people that they're rock stars, and they actually believe they are, just for a few moments.
What attracted you to being a hypnotist and being a performer and an entertainer?
Well, that's a very long story. There was a hypnotist who came when I was going to college, and he did some seminars at our college, and he didn't do the comedy show, because I had no idea there was such a thing as comedy hypnotist. And so he did this type of seminar that I do to help people get rid of stress and all of those kinds of things, and I thought that was really effective. And so I decided maybe I would learn a little bit about hypnosis. And I was putting myself through college, doing comedy and magic and stuff like that in comedy clubs. And one of my hypnosis instructors said, why don't you put the comedy together with the hypnosis and develop a comedy hypnosis show? And I thought, well, that sounds pretty crazy. I've never seen a comedy hypnotist. But I started experimenting and putting things together, and started doing it, fully intending on opening my own practice and basically hanging out my shingle, and that's all I was going to do, just have an office. But then I've been enjoying this and traveling so much. We've been doing it for many years, traveled way over 1 million miles driven, so it's been fun.
When you hypnotize people with different personalities, do they hypnotize differently, or is everybody the same?
Yeah, pretty much there are standard responses to most everything, but there also are dissimilar things that, you know, each person responds in his own way to a certain extent. And as the hypnotist and on stage in particular, it's my job to keep everything moving, you know, fluidly from beginning to end. And there's a certain structure to the show that we're doing, so I have to make sure that I'm maneuvering people around to behaving in certain ways that I expect them to behave. Even though I don't have power over them, I still have to control the show.
Have you seen the acceptance of hypnotism become more over the past years?
Absolutely, absolutely. Many years ago, hypnosis was viewed very skeptically, and there still is a lot of skepticism about hypnosis, and I understand the hypnosis skepticism. One of the main problems with skepticism is the things that you see in movies and television and all of that, where people are seeing ghosts and things like that because of hypnosis. And But almost every major religion accepts hypnosis now. There are a great many priests who are trained in hypnosis. So it's very much gaining ground as a therapeutic treatment.
Have you ever had any bad experiences? Did somebody have a bad reaction to it?
No. I'm trying to think. There's a thing called an abreaction, an abnormal reaction, but all trained hypnotherapists are trained how to deal with an abreaction, and I've never had a serious abreaction on stage in almost 20 years of doing it.
What's the typical way you bring somebody out of the hypnosis?
All you do is explain to them that you're going to do a counting sequence. I usually count from 3 down to 1. By the time I reach 1, they're going to be completely emerged from the state of hypnosis. I never tell them they're going to wake up because there's really no sleep. Some hypnotists say you're going to wake up, but you can't wake up if you don't actually go to sleep. So I tell them that they're just going to emerge from this deep form of relaxation, and they're going to be able to connect totally with the world like they normally would. And so I count down 3, 2, 1, and they come completely out of it. I also explain to people that there's no way anyone would ever be stuck in hypnosis. That's a problem that a lot of people see that could happen with hypnosis. People are worried, what if something happens and you aren't able to bring me out of hypnosis? And I tell people, if, heaven forbid, I were to drop dead on stage while I had 20 people hypnotized on stage, they would be able to immediately bring themselves out because their conscious mind is still there. It hasn't disappeared. I didn't make it disappear. And the conscious mind would immediately reinsert itself into the situation and bring them right out of it.
Can you do group hypnosis as an entire group?
Yeah, definitely.
How is that different from just individuals?
It's only different in that I can't tailor my suggestions that I'm giving to each and every individual. When I'm working one-on-one with a client, I have him fill out a questionnaire and everything and find out exactly where he wants to go with his treatments, with his therapy, and then I tailor exactly what I'm doing and my suggestions to their subconscious exactly for that person. So I have to be more generalized when I'm doing it to a large group.
In your stage show, what is the craziest, most outlandish thing you've had somebody do?
I've had some pretty crazy things happen. Nothing dangerous. I make sure that there's never any danger to my people on stage. That's my first goal. Both myself and my partner, Marielle, make sure that everybody is safe on stage, that nothing bad will happen to them. But I have had some people, for instance, I remember a person in New Mexico, a young man who came up on stage, and I noticed he was walking very haltingly. He was having a difficult time walking. And I had this person at the end of the show, I do a segment where I have people believe that they're rock stars. And I had this person believe that he was Michael Jackson. And he started dancing and moonwalking, and he was really pretty good. I was enjoying it. I was glad we happened to be videotaping it. And afterwards, his parents came up to me and to Marielle, and they had tears in their eyes. And they said he had been in an accident and had some severe head trauma, and he was unable to walk very well at all. I mean, he could barely even walk. And for some reason, some synapse connected or something under the hypnotic session, and he started dancing and doing things. And I talked to them later that day. They came back and had to tell me that the whole day, his day was amazing. He was able to walk and talk better than he had in years since the accident. So that was pretty exciting. That was not a crazy thing like your question asked. I don't get a whole lot of really crazy things happening on stage because I have a pretty controlled atmosphere of what I allow to happen on stage, because it's important to be safe. And I know what will be funny and what won't be funny, so I don't allow people to go beyond a certain level so that they can't in any way endanger themselves or anyone else. But it's still very funny.
Is there really such thing as post-hypnotic suggestions?
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, that's post-hypnotic suggestion comes, we do it on stage sometimes, and we'll do it this evening at the show at 7 o'clock. Post-hypnotic suggestion, though, comes from the world of hypnotherapy. We use post-hypnotic suggestions to help people to do anything that we do in our hypnotherapy practice. We give them actual suggestions of what they will do under certain circumstances. Whenever, for instance, if somebody wants to quit smoking, whenever they feel that need for cigarettes and they start reaching for their pack of cigarettes or whatever, I've given them a suggestion that as soon as they start reaching for that pack of cigarettes, they'll look at their hand and they'll start laughing because their hand will look funny holding that pack of cigarettes. And they'll start laughing, and as soon as they start laughing, they suddenly will lose their desire to smoke. And that helps. That's a post-hypnotic.
Does it stick with people like in comedy shows like on Dick Van Dyke where it'll stick with you and just keep going?
Well, I haven't seen the Dick Van Dyke that you're referring to, but yeah, hypnosis is very powerful. It can be very long-lasting, but we also have self-hypnosis CDs and everything. The things that happen on stage, however, will not remain with them when they leave. The things that we do on stage, we make sure that we completely release them from all the suggestions, so that when they leave, none of that will have any major effect on them, other than giving them some positive suggestions about stress relief and that sort of thing.
Can you walk us through how to become a hypnotist if we wanted to?
Well, sure. The world could use more hypnotists. Yeah, the first thing you do is when you are finally graduate from college, there are no, that I know of, accredited graduate programs in hypnotherapy. There are lay programs outside of the academic world, and you go to one of these schools. There's a terrific one in California that I went to, and another one in Florida that I went to, but they are dotted all around the country. And you go to one of these and you study and you start learning some basics about hypnosis, and then if you want and if you like it and you enjoy it enough, then you continue on. It's about a 1.5 to 2 year program. You can get it done in less time than that. You can get it done in a year if you really want to. In order to become certified as a hypnotist, to be board certified, you have to take an exam. You have to have experienced hypnotherapy yourself. You have to go through a series of hypnotherapy sessions yourself. And you have to pass all the tests and everything. And then once you do, you pay your money and you become a board certified hypnotist.
Do you think there will be an accredited program for it anytime in the future?
I'm in hopes. I am very high hopes.
Where do you see it going?
Where do I see it going? I think that a number of programs in California are leaning towards that. Most psychology programs now in major universities will have at least 1 or 2 classes in hypnosis, but they're just classes. And we would love there to be a full graduate level program. And I think that it will someday happen.
Okay, we'd like to thank you for
Well,
coming.
Lila, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me out, okay?
Thank you. We'll be back right after these messages.
Personal, affordable, convenient. That's Northeast State in a nutshell. Find your path to success through our wide variety of programs and nearby locations. Whatever brings you here, Northeast State offers a smart start to a 4-year degree or the choice of several technical programs, giving you direct entry into the workforce. Northeast State Community College. Wherever you're going, we're here to get you there.
That concludes the program for today. We've talked about hypnosis with board-certified hypnotist Rich Ames. Community is very important to the students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at a few of the subjects that they find important. Until we meet next time, on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty of Northeast State Community College, I'm Lila Archer, and this is Direction Northeast.